Midjourney images are getting better and better, but can you get great results with just a single word? My name is David Andre, and here are 50 insane one-word images from Midjourney. Number 1, hyperdrive. What I like about this image that you can literally feel the speed. This is a very artistic style for Midjourney. This is more like, drawing futuristic, and none of that is in the prompt. The prompt is just hyperdrive. Number 2, silhouette. If you didn't know that this is an AI image, you wouldn't know. It literally looks like a real picture. Like, this is very unlike other AI images. This is like much more realistic than anything in the list. Number 3, war. Not only did Midjourney create an image depicting war, but it captured the emotions, the feelings associated with war perfectly. Like, you can see the destruction, the rage. Honestly, this might be my favorite image of the whole 50, and that says a lot because there are some insane images coming later down the list. Number 4, galaxy. This image is so simple yet so beautiful, shining light and making the person just a black shadow. And if I remember correctly, I think I used the chaos parameter for this, which makes the images more varied. Normally if you do galaxy as a single word, you'll see something more realistic, something like a black sky with stars and different shapes. Number 5, extreme. Now I have no clue how Midjourney interpreted extreme in this way, creating an octopus monster. Very, very impressive creativity by Midjourney here. Number 6, fractal. Every single image that I created with fractal was great. Typically 1 out of 8 would be usable. Usually none of them would be good, but with fractal, every single one was impressive. This image just falls into the category of those type of pictures that you can just look at for hours and hours, and every time see something slightly different. Amazing piece. Number 7, dreamscape. The use of color in this image is literally perfection. It makes the bed and the sky instantly stand out, which is why I chose this image. Number 8, holograph. One important thing that I realized when making these images is that the more ambiguous the term, the better and more varied the results will be. If the keyword is something obvious like car or house, then Midjourney feels much more limited. But if you give it something like holograph or fractal, then it almost unlocks its full potential of how creative it can be. Number 9, void. Here you can almost feel the void trying to pull you in. Like, most of the image is dark, but it's somehow new to make the background behind the person white so that it stands out, which is very scary and impressive at the same time. Number 10, maximalist. Man, there's just something fascinating about the mix of realistic items like the chair or the floor, which are normal everyday items, and then once you look deeper, you can see stuff that shouldn't exist and that doesn't exist. Like, what is that in the top left corner? That's not a real thing. Or even in the middle, like, what are those things? Number 11, afterlife. Now I have no clue if there actually is an afterlife in this life, but if there is, I would imagine it would look something like this. Also, the birds are so nice. I kinda wish birds like this actually existed in real life. Image number 12, animal. What's wild about this one is how Midjourney tried adding more life to it by putting all the flowers and plants around the deer's head. And is that even a deer? Because the head shape looks like a deer, but if you look at the nose, it's more of a dog's nose or wolf's nose. Number 13, bliss. Now this is exactly how I will feel after my channel gets monetized. But for that, I need to reach 1000 subscribers. So please subscribe. It takes 2 seconds. While this image is definitely captivating, it's also very typical for Midjourney. Girls and birds are some of the most popular themes. They always somehow find their ways into images that have no business of having girls and birds in them. And if you just look at the breakdown of people, 95% of people in Midjourney are girls, which is a little extreme if you ask me. Number 14, celestial. Just look at the amount of detail in this image. The crown on top of the sun is also made up of small buildings if you look closely. This is what happens when you use more abstract terms like celestial instead of more rigid and concrete terms. Midjourney just becomes way more artistic. Number 15, diaspora. Now, I'll be honest, I have no clue what this word means, but you don't have to know the definition of the word to know that this is an amazing image. This should not be an AI image, and especially not one that was made from a single word. Number 16, drawing. Now, I know I advised against using more concrete terms. But the reason why I think drawing works so well is because you can draw anything. And in this case, Midjourney chose an old man with some robotic features around him. The hands are surprisingly good for Midjourney. What's not good is the pencil somehow splits into two, but hey, I mean, that's a detail. Number 17, Enchanted. Now again, this is a clear example of how girls and birds are dominating Midjourney. This prompt could have given anything related to Enchanted, yet somehow a girl and plenty of birds found their way into the image. But hey, I'm not complaining. This is a masterpiece. Number 18, Equilibrium. Now this is more of a simple image. If there wasn't for the watermark at the bottom, it would be absolutely perfect. This is the type of picture that you could see on my wall. Right now my wall is kinda empty, but you know what I mean. There is something special about the use of colors here. Like the 4 top balls are white and the bottom one is orange. If all of them were orange, or if all of them were white, this image wouldn't be half as good. Number 19, Evolution. Now I'll be honest, I expected to see something like this, but if you look deeper into the image, you'll actually see something very interesting. Just look at how many items they have. The apes on the left have no items, while the apes on the right have more and more stuff, which somehow is like a much deeper meaning than I expected AI to be able to communicate. Now the only thing I would point out about this image is that somehow the third ape from the left has only one leg, while the second leg turned into a mini ape. I have no clue what happened there, but I'm just amazed at the deeper message this image holds. Number 20, Fire. Now this image is on fire. Okay, dude, I'm not old enough to be making dad jokes, but I mean, even though it's not a realistic depiction of fire per se, you know, it's not a picture or photo or anything. It's more abstract and artistic. It just like captures the feeling of fire. Like if you walk through the forest and see fire, even though it might be, you know, a little flame on the side, you would feel something like this. You would feel an inferno. And this image, man, captures the essence of fire beautifully. Number 21, Glory. This might have been the first single word image I ever tried. And after seeing this, I knew that single word prompts had some major potential. What Midjourney can create with a simple word like glory is kinda inspiring. Dude, if you don't know the story of Joan of Arc, definitely look that up, because this image story shows that perfectly. Number 22, Harmony. What's interesting about this one is that instead of there being birds, there are flying fish, which, you know, isn't something that you see every day. Now this image is very unique in that it doesn't really depict harmony that much. Maybe the water is in harmony, you know, it's kind of still and calm, but the rest of the image, I don't know. If you showed this to me, there is no way I would have guessed that harmony was the prompt. Number 23, Hyper Realistic. Now this is the exact opposite of the previous image. Here I definitely could have guessed that the prompt was hyper realistic. Now yes, the skin could have been better, you know, the lighting on the skin isn't perfect and it still looks a little bit, you know, like a 3D render, but the eye, the pupil and the iris are just created perfectly. Like it's amazing how Midjourney knows what to do. And this is only Midjourney 5.1. Imagine what Midjourney version 10 will look like. Number 24, Infinity. I don't know about you, but personally I love this style of Midjourney images. Maybe like universal, you know, limitless Midjourney style. But you'll get a lot of images with, you know, something epic in the center, a human standing in the foreground, you know, some insane mountains or, you know, clouds on the sides. I don't know how to describe it. It's almost beyond words. Like you have to just look at the image and like absorb the creativity in it. Number 25, MDMA. Now, you could expect to get some insane images when using names of drugs, especially psychedelics, DMT, psilocybin and stuff like that. But I don't know, most of them were kind of predictable, kind of boring almost. But this one is anything but boring. The expression of the person's face is so alive, so like mind-blowing. And you know, the fact that the clouds represent the hair, or at least, I mean, that's what I see in it. Like definitely try using the term MDMA for your own images, because this is insane. Next up, luminescence. Now this keyword usually generated like mushrooms or another bioluminescent flowers, but this one, it captures what luminescence mean much better. Like it almost has a historical sense, since, you know, before there were lights and batteries and light bulbs, people had to use candles like this. And you know, even though she isn't holding a typical candle, you can definitely see a resemblance of a candle in the word luminescence. Number 27, metamorphosis. For some reason I did not make the association between the word metamorphosis and butterflies, but but Midjourney made that association for me because basically all the images I got with this word were somehow butterfly related, but this one was by far the best. Number 28, Mirage. Sure, I did expect something, desert related, but to have a giant circular mirror in the middle of a canyon, I did not expect that one. What's even crazier is that how the reflections in this image are depicted. Not only is the circular mirror reflecting the background, but also the pond on the ground is reflecting the mirror and the stuff that's in the mirror. Dude, this should not be an AI image. Even a human artist would struggle to make reflections this good. Number 29, Monster. Now, I think it's clear to everybody who's seen the movie Monsters Inc. that this image is heavily inspired by that. You can see it by the, bedroom setting and also the toys on the ground, and especially the expression of the monster's face. And what's truly insane is that even though stuff like this is possible, 99% of people is still clueless about AI. So if you think you're late to the AI revolution, don't worry, you're still very early. Number 30, Multiverse. Now this is what I meant by the, style. This is very similar to the previous one, which was Infinity. This kind of image where there is a silhouette of a dark person in the foreground and something insane happening in the sky. I don't know why, but Midjourney just loves to make them, and I love to see them. The planets, the galaxy, the reflection in the pond. It's like, bro. Number 31, Nature. Now here I expected Midjourney to go for more like green plants. This is like very brown, almost like painting style. Like this could be an old painting for sure. I just realized that this is another deer. Seems like Midjourney really likes girls, birds, and deer. That's kind of a strange combo. Next up, Paranormal. Now I generated a bunch of paranormal images, but most of them were just too unrealistic. This could be straight out of a horror movie. Everything about this image is realistic. The staircase, the mist, the lighting, the human shape. Yet the meaning of paranormal is captured perfectly. And again, see how Midjourney made the person stand out by making the background behind them very light so that we can clearly see it and so that it pops out from the image. It's kind of insane that it's able to do this. Number 33, Peace. This was also one of the first ever images that I generated with a single word prompt. And dude, obviously, yeah, this is the peace sign, but look at the color. Looking at this, this image vibrates peace. Even if there wasn't the peace sign, forget about that. Just the composition, the color, it's so warm, makes you feel at peace. Number 34, Pendulum. Now here Midjourney was a little creative because all the other pendulum images were kind of boring. I'm not sure why Midjourney chose to add rain, but hey, I'm not complaining, it works perfectly. Number 35, Picture. Now yeah, this is a very, very simple prompt. Just look at what it was able to create. This is probably the most detailed image from the entire video. Just look at the bottom of the image. There are so many items there, and I can't name a single of them. This actually reminds me of that cursed image that was also computer generated, which was used to disturb people because you couldn't tell a single image. It was going viral a few years ago. Number 36, Resonance. I'll be honest, I have no idea how I would draw or depict resonance if I had to do so, but somehow Midjourney was able to figure that out just fine. And yeah, this image, it kinda gives the vibe of resonance, even though resonance is a very abstract term. Number 37, Salvation. Now dude, this image has an entire story in it. Look at the bottom. The bottom is hell, the middle is real world, and the top is heaven with Jesus descending on a cross, fighting off, the demons on the sides and people reaching their hands to it. A single word, salvation, was able to create all of this. I can't believe this. Insane. Next up, Solitude. Now this image isn't really, colorful or anything, but that doesn't matter. What matters is how well it depicts the word solitude, and I think it did a 10 out of 10 job on that. This is exactly the type of house you would imagine in a remote village or a remote place where nobody ever drives to. Number 39, Spectral. Now I definitely didn't expect Spectral to visualize any sort of ghost or skull or anything like that. Honestly, I had no clue what Spectral would bring. Maybe I thought Spectral meant something more celestial or something like that, but apparently not. Apparently Spectral is more ghostly. And also, if you're new to Midjourney, prepare to see a lot of skulls. It's another one of those very common themes. Ooh, this is an exciting one. Stoicism. Personally, I am a big fan of Stoicism, and one of the best videos on YouTube is Stoic Quotes Ultimate Compilation. But anyway, that's beside the point. This image, depicts a perfect Stoic in the middle of his daily thinking, contemplating what he could have done better, what's next, and what life is all about. And dude, the fact that Midjourney chose the background to be straight black, which it didn't do for any other image, is that's impressive, man. Number 41, Supernova. We can again see this typical Midjourney style. Whenever the sky is so epic like this, this. The rest of the image just almost doesn't matter. Like, this clearly looks like a supernova just happened in the sky, and the person was there to witness it. If you don't think this style of images is amazing, there's something wrong with you. Number 42, surreal. Surrealism has to be one of the best artistic styles out there. Like, any image you create, if you just put surrealist after that, you will get something very creative, no matter what the prompt is. And here, the prompt is just surreal, and the result is definitely surreal. Okay, this is a classic, synthwave. I also tried retrowave, but I don't know, the results weren't as captivating. They weren't as visually striking as synthwave. And this one was the most visually striking. Actually, I would like to know what this car brand is, because every single synthwave slash retrowave image had this type of car in it. So maybe you can let me know that. Next up, Technicolor. Now this is a very interesting word that I expected to have, vivid colors, saturated colors, but I don't know. It's like this art style, even though, it's a girl and it's very mainstream topic, the result is like very nice and very interesting. Personally, I've never used the word Technicolor before. I must say, I will be using this word more and more. Number 45 is transcendence, and number 46, transmutation. Now the transcendence is that's like very similar to the salvation one. It feels like Midjourney has some sort of a connection to Jesus or God when it comes to the words transcendence, because you can clearly see person at the bottom turning into something transcendental at the top, and this kind of looks like heaven, almost more than the afterlife picture if you think about it. It's astonishing what an AI can do with just a single word. And same goes for the word transmutation. Now this one is more, trippy, more psychedelic for sure, but it's still like very, very creative. Like, I would be amazed if a human was able to make this, let alone an AI, which is supposed to be worse than humans. AI was supposed to suck at the creative jobs. It was supposed to replace the manual labor first, but somehow we're seeing AI that can do this. Like, what? Insane. Number 47, turbulence. Like, yeah, it's associated with planes and stuff, but man, like, look at those clouds. The plane is almost secondary to the clouds. Like, people are like, yeah, Midjourney sucks at text, Midjourney sucks at fingers. Like, okay, who cares? It's amazing at skies and at clouds and at like landscapes. Like, dude, this is clearly depicts a turbulent scenario where the plane is crashing down, and none of that is in the prompt. That's the crazy part. The prompt just says turbulence, and the rest Midjourney was able to figure it out on its own. The next prompt, wavelength, has interesting story behind it. Now yes, I did expect to see some waves, with the word wavelength, but man, it's almost like split in half, which is quite rare to see in Midjourney. And dude, again, there's something about the clouds and the sun. Like, I don't know, maybe that's just me, but the clouds in Midjourney are amazing. Moving on to LSD. Now, as I said before, drug names are expected to have some wild results. The eyes of this girl is like so expressive, so colorful. It's kind of inspiring that you can get to see these type of images without having to do drugs and mess up your life potentially. This might be the best showcase of color that I've ever seen in Midjourney. I don't know what other keywords apart from LSD could get you results like this. And imagine if you made the prompt longer, making it more specific. You could potentially get results that are even better than this. Number 50, whirlwind. Now this image is very abstract. It's a mix of a picture and a drawing. Like, this could be a photo, except obviously it doesn't exist. I'll be honest, I expected Midjourney to go for something ocean related, water related. Like, the way Midjourney uses color is almost illegal. Like, it's too good. I hope I'm not the only one who thinks that these images are absolutely wild. Like, here is a quick recap of all the images that were shown in this video. And if you want me to make a part 2 of video like this, then please subscribe.